What's up, guys? Welcome to another wrestling podcast. This week in Wrestling Roundup, we're basically this week going to be covering mainly AEW things. He says what's also wearing an AEW top plate.
You're unbiased, but
yeah, I'm not biased at all. We're going to be covering All Out. We're going to look at some WWE creative changes. We're going to look at the Clash of Champions card. We're going to look at what AEW should do heading into television.
Maybe what AEW should have done before heading into television.
Yes, that's it, yes. So, well, let's start off. Overall, All Out I thought was a really good card. I thought it was a really good card.
It was really good.
I don't really think there was any weaknesses to the matches, really.
They're all generally they were interesting. There's nothing dull about any of the matches.
No, oh god, no. And
there's some dodgy, dangerous bits, especially in a certain tag team match and a ladder match where I'm surprised Matt didn't break his neck.
And some dubious booking with finishes, but as a whole, I liked it. We had this discussion a little while ago, which was that we both kind of agree that we both liked Hangman Page, Jericho, and probably was the best on the card in the sense of setting up story and character.
It was quite interesting because I reckon Ring of Honor and New Japan are kicking themselves early, and now I'm not realising they had a main event like that.
Yeah, I mean, we both wanted Page to win in a way, but it's I said that
I wanted Page to win more than you did.
Yeah, I mean, I said that I think it would have been a wrong decision to make Page win. And I think what they managed to do...
it would have been a wrong decision to let Chris Jericho win and lose the championship about a day after.
Oh, yeah, we'll get on to that. I think that Page really benefited from that match, even without winning. He left that match looking like a star. Yeah. So I think, regardless of what happened, he came out on top kind of thing in that. So, no, I really like that.
It'd be interesting what they do next with it.
Yeah, that's the weird thing. It seems like the next thing is Page versus Puck. They are going to finally do that in AEW.
I haven't quite seen the thing because I haven't watched the YouTube one for being Elite. There seemed to be a bit of a thing backstage between those two.
Yeah, they had a little confrontation between Page and Pac, so they're obviously moving on to that, which they obviously wanted to do at Double or Nothing, but couldn't.
You think that's the deal now? If I can beat Kenny, I'll let I'll lose to Hangman.
Yeah. Let me one up Kenny and then I can win. Yeah, so they're obviously going to go with that, which is cool, as long as Page wins, because then God knows what happens with him. I think they've got stars in everyone that was in that hardcore match, because it was just insanity. Just insanity. Darby Allin, how he walks every day, I don't know. That Cracker Barrel crash was incredible.
He doesn't have bones. He's made out of
yeah, he's literally just like Gumby. That's it. It's insane how he. I said to you, I watched most of that match through my fingers or going like this.
But any kind of sign. Jesus. You watch most wrestling matches like that.
Well, I watch it if it's a strike to the back of the head or on the edge of the apron. But I was quite okay with that match right up until the Cracker Barrel. The coffin drop Cracker Barrel off the top. I nearly jumped out of my chair watching that. I was like, Jesus Christ, Darby, what are you doing? I think I actually tweeted out exactly that. I was like, Jesus fucking Christ, Darby, what are you doing? I enjoyed it. It was great. And they've been building all three of those guys up in different matches. Darby versus Cody was built up. They've done Moxley versus Janela, even though he didn't win it, he still looked great in that. And now that this was the Jimmy Havoc moment, obviously, for Jimmy Havoc to come out as a star. So I thought that was great. It's weird though, because once again, they've made it's Tony Khan has made it very clear that hardcore on TV won't be a thing, really, because TNT don't like it. So my question being, well, what do they do with these guys then? If they're just going to get these sort of matches on pay-per-views, how do they get to them on TV if they can't do stupid stuff? I don't get that.
There'll be internet matches on YouTube. They're dark matches on YouTube.
That's a good point, actually. Yeah, they could do that, but it's I don't know. That's a bit weird. I think, but they have. It is confirmed, not by AEW, but it is confirmed that AEW will be TV-14. It won't be TV-PG, so it will be TV-14, both pay-per-view and television.
Oh, so they can swear then, can't they?
Yeah, because there was some criticism. I think that was on Dave Meltzer's Wrestling Observer radio on Monday this week, where he criticised quite heavily the swearing. Well, no, actually he didn't. His co-host criticised the swearing. It wasn't Brian Alvarez. It was someone standing in for him. Criticised the swearing, saying it won't be appealed to kids, but it's not really aiming at kids.
Yeah, but has he not watched any other show than WWE because they're swearing at any other show going on?
Yeah, and that's what that's the point I've always made too. Is like why do we hold wrestling to a weird standard? Why don't we hold it to the same standard as a Game of Thrones or whatever, and say, hey, you can swear, you can do risky storylines because it's television. And also, like, if you're aiming for that 18 to 35 demographic, which is obviously the golden demographic, they're cool with that. They're cool with swearing. They're cool with people saying and doing whatever they want. I tell you what was also quite prevalent throughout that show was how over Luchasaurus is. That dude got one of the biggest reactions of the night. Well, him and Jungle Boy, like, together.
Well, yeah, they are over the top now. They've had the third amigo, haven't they?
Yeah, I don't quite get Marco's stunt. I like him with them. I think he works really well with them, but like I don't quite get it. I love, what are they calling him? What are they calling him? The Jurassic Express? Was that what I think that was what they were calling him? Some of that. I think it was the Jurassic Express. I think they were great. I'm so high on Luchasaurus and Jungle Boy. I think they're absolutely fantastic. And it was weird. I don't understand why they beat them. I 100% thought they were going over, seeing as they are like the most popular people on the card, which aren't from another company. They're actually like home built in AEW basically, and yeah. But I love that. What else did we have on the card? Obviously, we had Nyla Rose going on to face Rio at the first TV taping.
What mate does look like Rio's winning that women's championship, don't it?
Yeah, probably is. Yeah. They're building her up to like overcome this beast.
Well, they just built it to be unstoppable since the whole way through.
Yeah. I think Kenny Omega's really hot on there, and obviously he's running the women's division.
But he hasn't won a match so far, apparently.
Yeah. That's another thing. Is AEW's weird sort of hit and miss whitewashing of the history of AEW already, where they kept on saying multiple times that Kenny hasn't won a match yet, even though he won against CIMA at whatever the last one was, Fight for the Fallen. I think it was the last one. Yeah,
Pretty sure he also won it in the 6-man tag team match.
Oh yeah, that too. Yeah, Christ, yeah.
Because so far it wasn't until that pay-per-view until the Young Bucks actually lost.
Oh yeah. So he's won twice. Okay, it's
50-50.
He's literally 50-50, and they were being like, "Oh, he just can't win a match," and it's like,
no, he just can't get his outfit to show up on time.
Yeah, he just lost to Jericho. Like, I don't understand. Like, he just lost to Jericho. That was a brilliant match. Pac and Kenny Omega. I mean, there was never any doubt that was going to be a good match. To be fair, that was always going to be what it was.
Yeah.
I loved that.
I think for me, it's one of those ones that could have had a bigger build up for that match.
That's the biggest problem. That's why I would say that to me that would be my favourite match on the card. But the fact that there was no stakes, there was no build really, it was just thrown out there, and that is a match which should have been a big main event.
The truth is I reckon Hangman and Jericho were the best match on the card, but I reckon Cody and Spears could have been the best match, mainly because I think they messed up the finisher.
Yeah, so you think that MJF should have?
Yeah, MJF should have screwed him there, and you got Saint leading straight into TV.
Yeah, and
I know of fans between Cody Rhodes and I think a lot of people might tune in to see how that goes, especially when you bet them both on a microphone.
Oh god, yeah.
Open the show like that, and you're on for gold stuff.
I can see why that would have been great as well. Like, I understand why they didn't do it because they obviously want to leave it for a while. But no, I do agree. It's like they haven't really got anything for TV. There's nothing really there leading them into TV. Yeah, because they didn't do anything on the pay-per-view to make us
and now
want to watch.
Hangman is not sort of going for a chase for a belt right now because Cody's
just in that
all
position.
All of a sudden, people release before we even hit TV, release our matches on what's going on.
Yeah, it baffles me a little bit. I don't know. Once again, I understand why they're doing it because they're trying to sell tickets beforehand, but also their tickets are selling themselves.
Yeah.
They don't need to announce the matches. I think they're burning through top tier matches very, very quickly. Moxley versus Omega is a match.
I said this to you before. I can understand the first few weeks of TV why they've announced big matches because
they need to keep their viewers in.
Vincent Mann's being a bellend.
Yeah. They need to keep you from tuning over to NXT. They need to, but sort of putting pay-per-view, putting Moxley and Omega and Cody and Jericho on the same pay-per-view at Full Gear. I'm not a fan of that solely because both of those matches could headline a pay-per-view.
Yeah.
You don't need those both on the same. And there's a good chance that Pac and Hangman is probably going to be on that pay-per-view as well. So you've got 3 matches there, all of which could have headlined a pay-per-view, and all of which could deal with 8-12 weeks
So
worth
do
of
you
build.
reckon we're ever going to get to this final of the tag team tournament by then?
Yeah. So
I don't even know where we're actually at in that right now.
no, so it says that the first round of the tag team tournament is happening on TV. The first episode of TV. That's the first round, and then it's obviously going to do a round a week, I assume. And then I'm assuming they're going to crown the first tag team champions at Full Gear. I don't know that, but that's what I'm going to assume is they're going to crown them there.
That's going to make TV shit though.
Yeah.
It's just what's part of a tournament.
As long as they don't.
Mainly because no one actually has a clue who's in this tournament, where's anyone's at, and what the hell's going on.
It's awful. It's really awful. The first round buys here. You can buy in here. You can get this. You can do that. I have no idea. I have no idea who's going to win those titles. I'm hoping Luchasaurus and Jungle Boy, but it's probably going to be.
The Young Bucks are going to pop up somewhere in the final.
God, yeah. Then we've got the Young Bucks versus the Lucha Bros. So.
For the 15,000.
Yeah. I don't know about this match. It was a good match to sit and watch.
Yeah.
But the second you start to think about it, it all just falls apart.
Well, there's one part that I did like, and that's what Pentagon Jr. when he flipped over and he managed to catch Matt Jackson's shoulders and land him head first straight through a table.
Yeah, that was the Canadian Destroyer straight through, which was amazing. It was visually it was amazing, but like I
even
said,
the announcers like that, I'm pretty sure he may have just killed him because
yeah.
He managed to get hold of his shoulders and not by his.
And JR said that's the craziest thing he's ever seen in wrestling, full stop, which is a big thing to say. He was stood there when Mick Foley flew off over him for a table, so that was a big thing.
You sure he even saw that?
He probably didn't. Yeah, and but the one thing which just really annoyed me about it, like to me that's why it's not the match of the night, is that he had a Canadian Destroyer given to him, and then Matt Jackson stood back up a minute later and was back in the action. There was about 5 points in that match, which should have been the finish. Should have been the knockout moment, ladder climb,
That's
whatever.
One of those matches where you sort of need an extra team or two in it.
Yeah, you do, because it was like they had all these spots they wanted to do and
The
stuff.
problem is as well, they were virtually all doing the same spots at the same time. So
Yeah.
you were never getting at least 2 guys having a break like you're supposed to.
It was so much going on, and this feeds into another issue which we both talked about, which is the camera work in AEW is so bad, so bad, and it's
we say about WWE they're bad camera.
Yeah.
At least when you're watching WWE, you know you're gonna have a multiple fits through the thing, but you're gonna see the action.
yeah, you're going to see a move. They may cut 12 times to get to it, but you're going to see
You're
it.
having a fear at the end of it.
Yeah, but with AEW it was like they'd be on
They'd
something.
be leading on to they're ready to do something. They suddenly just go to random thing outside
Yeah.
the ring, whether it's an audience member or just like the floor of the ring.
Yeah,
To then go back and just see they hit the floor, and you're like,
Yeah.
well, what the hell even happened?
yeah, they were missing key spots, key moments to either go to something that's not interesting happening in the ring or to fan reaction or whatever. That's something which needs. And that's been an issue they've had since their first show, since Double or Nothing. And I kind of would have hoped that by now they would have figured it out. I know they've not had a lot of time, but they've had enough time to figure it out. And it is a very professional production company. The guy running production there was the guy that ran production for WCW and TNA for quite some time as well.
And look at where they are now.
Yeah. But you know, he's a guy which knows production, so it's not as if they've just brought in someone that doesn't know wrestling production as such. So he knows it. I mean, not that WCW production was any good, but that's not here nor there. But yeah, I mean, they've got issues that they've got to address. There's another thing which, I don't know if you've noticed this, it's a little thing which just sort of bugs me a little bit, is the music, the entrance music for the wrestlers. So firstly it's generic, but whatever, that's neither here nor there. But also it's piped into the arena and not piped into the TV. So when they're coming out, you're not really hearing the music, you're hearing crowd reaction stuff. It's really muffled.
I can't say I paid that much attention to that part.
Right, so I see lots of people commenting on it as well, but it's sort of WWE, when the music plays, what happens is they plug the audio directly into the TV feed, so you can hear Seth Rollins' music hit. You don't hear the crowd over the top of the music. You hear the music and the crowd sort of at the same level, and so you know what the music of the person coming out. What they're doing is they're just using microphones that are in the arena, So whatever noise gets picked up by those microphones gets picked up by those microphones. So you sort of get muffled by the music and the crowd and all this, and I don't know, it's a bit. It's just another production.
I think there's some more bigger things to worry about first before that.
Yeah, but it's sort of it's just those little things which make people sort of
actually watch a whole wrestling match first. Yeah. Probably more priority.
But it's all those like little things which sort of fine tune it and make it look a lot more professional. And I'm sure they'll get there. I'm sure they'll get there within a few months or whatever. But it's a bit tedious to watch at times. I think they really need to improve on the music anyway, just because music is such a big point of wrestling. It's always been such a big part of wrestling. And to use generic music, the only two people I think, or three I'll say, in the entire company whose music I know is Cody, Jericho's, and then Hangman's. Like those I think are the only three which when it hits I go, oh, that's who it is. The rest I go, oh, okay, that's who it is. So I think they need to do something about that, because I don't know, it doesn't. Also a big thing which I know lots of people were critical about was Pharaoh. It was the dog being brought out with the fireworks.
Yeah, thing is, even Brandy lost her shit.
Yeah, and it was said that Brandy Rhodes was really angry backstage.
She went backstage and lost it.
Yeah, and Tony Khan said we're not going to be doing that again, because that was a bad.
When they did that thing, and I watched that.
Yeah, that was a stupid idea that in the first place to have fireworks stuff going off. Cody says that they weren't supposed to go off, but I don't really think that was true, because they went off. Because I'll tell you why I don't think that was true, because they went off exactly at the moment Cody stopped and posed. So they obviously were supposed to go off, because otherwise that's just the biggest coincidence in the world. But yeah, I think that was a bad move, and I don't want to see it again. It made me feel.
Or even at that point as well, you maybe should have just.
They should have just taken the dog back. Yeah, just done it, taken the dog back. Yeah, I don't know. It was a bit.
Unfortunately, it was Cody then dragged him back out.
It was a bit horrible. I don't like that. But anyway, all out as a whole was a really good show. I am looking forward to TV in a few weeks. We got NXT starting next week, and NXT is starting. So with 2 hours on the USA Network, 1 hour actually on the USA Network, and 1 hour on WWE Network for the first 2 weeks, and then the third week, both hours go on the USA Network. And the reason for this being that Suits, the TV show Suits, is on USA Network at 9 o'clock, and so WWE can only run 8 to 9 for the first 2 weeks, and then when Suits finishes, they get the full 2 hours. And the reason for that being is that they were trying to obviously hotshot AEW before USA actually had time on their network. Yep.
Why not just do an hour show?
Because that would be too logical. I suppose it's a good idea in the sense of maybe it will drive people to become subscribers, but probably not. Probably
it's a crap idea, because who wants to suddenly go from the network over to a TV?
Yeah, so I think hour 1's on USA Network, hour 2's on the WWE Network. So you
Once
watch
again, how did WWE fuck it up again?
Yeah, so because obviously they just wanted to get on TV before AEW was on TV, and even though USA didn't have the time on their schedule, they were like, well, we'll just take the hour then for the first 2 weeks, and then we'll do the other hour on the network. And their idea is that they can do something big in the last hour on USA and be like, head on over to the WWE Network now to watch the last hour or whatever. I don't know. It's a bad idea, but that's happening. That starts next week. Yeah, I like that. That was your genuine reaction, because that's the first time you'd heard that as well. Stupid idea, crazy. We also have some other news from WWE, which is that their creative team is being all moved around.
Shockingly,
again. Ryan Ward, who's been running SmackDown for quite some time, is gone.
I wonder why.
Followed Road Dogg out the door.
We ain't going to go to NXT like Road Dogg.
No,
I wonder how long before Road Dogg is NXT.
Yeah. He followed Road Dogg out the door, and instead, Ed Koskey, who's been running Raw he's been part of the Raw writing team for about 15 years now. He has now become head of SmackDown. And a guy called Jonathan Beecham is coming on as the head of Raw, who was the head writer of 205 Live. He's apparently very well liked by Paul Heyman. So Paul Heyman's dragged him up to be his sort of right hand, whatever that means. Apparently this week they didn't script promos. They gave bullet points. That was the first time in a long time they've been given bullet points and not scripts.
Is that when they gave Bailey a chair?
Yeah.
Even though she's got to learn how to hit someone with a chair.
Yeah, she held it like the top.
She was holding it too far to start.
Yeah,
because I had a friend I was talking to about this, and he's turned around and said, It's like
You can't get a swing.
You're not. She's not really hitting them very well.
No, she's sort of like planting
like
on
that.
their back.
Because to be honest, I haven't probably watched the footage, but I've seen the picture part of it and was like, I ain't even going to bother watching this footage because that looks pathetic.
She held the side of it and just sort of like planted it on Becky's back.
Thing, if it ain't but Becky doing her reaction.
Yeah, Becky like sold it or whatever, but it was like, Bailey was sort of just doing this to her. It was really weird. But yeah, they didn't script Rey Mysterio, they didn't script Sasha Banks. So I suppose it's a good thing if these new writers come in. We'll see how it works out. But Triple H did say this week that Vince McMahon is going to have nothing to do with NXT.
He hopes.
He said in an interview that Vince has got too much on his plate. He's going to be involved in marketing. He's going to be involved in negotiations with USA and whatever, but he's not going to be in the day-to-day running of NXT. And that he said to Triple H, quote, just go out and make this thing a success. That was what Triple H said this week.
But he already did.
Yeah, we'll make it a success all over again and actually make me some money this time. Well, he's already done that because USA are paying for it, so he's already made money, so it's already a success. But the Wednesday Night Wars will be starting in 3 weeks' time when AEW starts, but NXT starts this week. Yeah, this coming Wednesday. Which, I don't know. I'm going to watch this first one, see what it's like.
What, jump in between?
Yeah, and then when AEW starts, I'm going to be watching AEW. and
How are you watching that first hour?
Online. I've cut that bit out where I'm saying.
Well, no, but I'm asking a general question due to we haven't got the first hour and it's only in America.
Yeah, well, I'll watch it online. I'll figure a way around it. I'll watch it to see. Oh, I'll figure it out. Shut up. We also have coming up next Sunday. We have Clash of Champions. We have Seth Rollins and Braun Strowman pulling double duty.
Who cares?
Yeah.
What happened to the OC?
Yeah, they took the titles off the OC, and there's no reason for taking the titles off the OC.
They started doing quite a good storyline, and then just end it.
Yeah, it was. It's
at the beginning of the month, Braun Strowman was going for the United States title to start with.
Yeah, I don't know, but I'm bored of talking about that already. So instead, we're gonna finish this. I'm gonna put up some of the best bits of the hashtag which is going around at the moment, which Jericho sort of got over in a matter of a few days, of a little bit of the bubbly, where he was shocked by finding.
Well, there is only
champagne.
The best one, and that's the Brock Lesnar theme tune.
I love the Powerpuff Girls one. I'm going to put them both up here because I think they're fantastic, and I think they're sort of. It was the highlight of my wrestling week, watching the Chris Jericho, a little bit of the bubbly videos. It really was. They're just brilliant.
Sugar, spice, and everything nice. These were the ingredients chosen to create the perfect little girl. But Professor Utonium accidentally added an extra ingredient to the concoction.
A little bit of the bubbly. Bub, 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 bubbly.
Of course, Jericho's been in the news this week for a much bigger reason, in that he managed to lose his AEW World Championship.
Yeah, this is where AEW's like that to really put on the right person.
Yeah, he had it for less than 12 hours before he lost it.
But you look at it like this: how many titles has that man held through his career?
Yeah. And
how many of them have suddenly gone walkabouts?
But the man also likes a drink nowadays. So, you know.
Well, he's in a rock band. What do you expect?
Yeah, exactly.
You're lucky he's not pouring cocaine down.
It's the weirdest thing. Like, the whole story is just mental. And the weirdest thing that I saw in it was when Tallahassee PD had the belt handed into them from somebody who found it at the side of the road. They tweeted out their picture of the guy holding the title, and then saying, Jericho, we've got this thing of yours. And then they deleted it. And then when someone asked about it, they said, we can't confirm we've got it. And it was like, what's Tallahassee PD stolen the belt now? It was the weirdest sort of like.
I quite just like the story of it that you put up on our website, which is Chris Jericho's statement on what happened.
Yeah.
Where he went into a restaurant, left the title in the back of the limousine. Why would you do that? And then sent his limousine driver to go back to, because he's picked up the wrong luggage.
Yeah.
Like, why would you not go back to factory and get your own luggage? You know, the stuff you own in your luggage right now ain't cheap.
Yeah. I know it was weird. You can read that statement over at straightedgewrestling.com because it is weird. The whole story's weird. It was a weird sort of 24 hours for that belt. I have no idea.
It was Triple H, wasn't it?
I mean, yeah. There was so many memes going around of like Vince McMahon having stolen the belt and stuff, or there was a meme of Triple H of being like Triple H and NXT unveil the American Eagle Wrestling Championship, commonly known as the AEW Championship, on NXT this week and things like that. It was just so bizarre. If I could lay money on what I didn't expect to come out of wrestling news in this week, would be that. It was like they crown their first champion on the Saturday, lose it on the Sunday.
If I was in on that thing, I'd just been like, I knew I should have gave it to Hangman Page.
Honestly. Well, Hangman Page tweeted something out, I'll put it up here. Hangman Page tweeted something out about what bandana he wanted to wear to steal to make a robbery. So that it was funny. I like how they kind of made it lighthearted, but I bet they were all so pissed off at the time. God damn it. So
it's not like you can get very far with that belt.
No, it weighs.
How much? No, it's not even that. It's covered in AEW.
You can't hide the fact that it's AEW. But anyway, head on over to follow us on Twitter at SEW_podcast. Head on over to our website, straightedgewrestling.com. Follow us on Facebook, like and subscribe to all this. All the links are down below, and we'll see you next time. We're out.